Hi, I'm Patrick Cavanaugh with California Ag Today here in Salinas at the Forbes Ag Tech Summit, the fourth year running with, of course, Steve Forbes. He's chairman and editor-in-chief of Forbes Media. He spoke today. He's got a great mind of things that he's been talking about that we all need to hear from. First of all, thanks for being with us today, Mr. Forbes.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I think more and more people are realizing the enormous opportunities of high tech in agriculture, and so I think this is just going to get better and better in the future.
Let's talk a little bit about water and about how we have human barriers about water here in California. We have water, but there's problems with the water here.
Everything from reservoirs to desalination plants and the like. The model should be Israel, which is in a desert where rainfall has been falling, but thanks to technology not having these barriers, they're building desalination plants, very sophisticated uses of water in agriculture where they're a real global power. And as a result, today, Israel, as a country as a whole, uses 10% less water, not per capita, but 10% less water net than it did 70 years ago, even though the economy is 60 times bigger. So remove the barriers, and these problems go away, and we're all better off.
And everybody has all the water they need in Israel, right?
They do. They don't have rationing. You take a shower there. The shower head seems to have the same kind of pressure that we have here, but it uses 1/3 of the water.
Immigration reform, how Congress still cannot make a change, make a difference for us. The farmers, we need labor, a labor force. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, here again, we're hurting ourselves, hurting our food production, hurting industries, not just agriculture, but construction. And so what we should have are programs of the kind we had 50, 60 years ago, where people come in, we know who they are for specific periods of time, for specific purposes. You don't get the illegal problem because they know they can come back, they can go home and come back. So we have those needs, let's meet them. In the meantime, to hire agricultural labor, you almost need a lawyer now. The Ag Department, USDA, Secretary Sensky yesterday talked about trying to expedite that process, remove some of the barriers. But these are self-imposed barriers, and we end up all being the poorer for it.
The other thing about agriculture often takes the collateral damage at many trade situations, these taxes, these extra tariffs, taxes as you call them, for not only the people trading, but for the consumers. What are we going to do? Do you think we're not going to have a trade war?
Well, you have to first recognize that tariff is another word for sales tax. So if you hear 10% tariff on aluminum, that's a 10% sales tax. 25% tariff on steel, that's a 25% sales tax on steel. 20% tariff on automobiles, 20% sales tax. You put it that way, and people's eyes go up and they get it right away. Putting sales taxes on American consumers, American agriculture, farmers, businesses is not the way to resolve very real trade abuses. So the diagnosis of the abuses are right. I just am not sure about the prescriptions. But at the end of the day, everyone knows from the disaster and the depression of the 1930s what trade wars can lead to. And so I think they will resolve these things. But in the meantime, the uncertainty has people holding back. Farmers are told, well, you can hedge, grow it and hedge it. Well, that's a cost. Oh, you can sell it to Argentina, and they'll sell it to a country like China. But again, that's an extra hurdle we don't need. So the sooner they get this resolved, which I think they will, because everyone loses in a trade war. Yes, some others may be hurt more than us, but we're all hurt. So I think they will get it resolved.
This event, Mr. Forbes, is all about technology in agriculture. The general consumer, the general environment, is in terms of understanding technology, they just don't understand it. The GMO, they don't understand it. They're afraid of it. They're afraid of things. Can you comment on the fact that technology is good? Talk about how, we used to wash our clothes by hand. Then we have a washing machine.
Yeah, technology properly done, and GMOs have been studied to fairly well, and they are actually making food more plentiful, especially for people who badly need it in Africa and elsewhere. It makes it safer. You don't have to use as many pesticides. You get better use of water, less loss to disease, to insects. So it's all good stuff. We're using human ingenuity to make the human condition better. And I think when we pay more attention to the science, less to superstition and emotion, again, we're all better off for it.
Thank you for being with us today with Steve Forbes in Salinas at the 4th Annual AgTech Summit, the Forbes AgTech Summit. I'm Patrick Cavanaugh with California Ag Today.